Brad and Twain actually sit and build the original set together, and when this happens, it really, like, one of the other characters gets really freaked out. Not the E-Punk crew. The E-Punk crew, they're not bothered by this concept. Neither are the Franz Punks, because the Franz Punks work on clocks. They're clocks.
No, but one of the groups are very uncomfortable with this concept. Because they're raised in an area where it's kind of like
they were never.
It's not even in the forefront of their mind.
They didn't even have anyone that was really there to fix them properly, and
or to tell them,
and they associated more with humans than anything else. They didn't associate with each other, but
but they really did consider them culture. Exactly, and so they are really concerned by this.
And for Twain and Brad, it's this
kind
is
of
what
an every.
You fix yourself. You put yourself together. You put other people together if they need to be put together. You fix So for them, it's not a big deal. I guess it would be similar to, a surgeon not being freaked out by the sight of blood while somebody else is really badly freaked out by it. And so because of this, if they were to... I think that the E-Punks would actually have an attachment if they were to build a new body.
The E-Punks I can understand. But the Franz Punks I see to a degree because of their history having an issue with it.
The Franz Punks... Yeah, they would
because of Franz
having an issue because of the whole concept of creation.
Yeah, and because of how Franz explained it to them.
Yeah.
And with Eaton's crew, they would not be comfortable at all. It would really...
Eaton's crew already doesn't think that half of the group should exist anyway.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way.
Not in a bad way.
They're just more
but they're not cautious in the sense, because like I said, they like to be in the front of the line.
Consider it war damage. That's what I consider them. They're war damage.
Yeah, and it's kind of more so emotional wise. They're not that comfortable with that sort of thing. It really bothers them.
Yeah. And where are we even going with this? That's pretty much why.
It's probably why the children couldn't happen, because for one, you would have way too many questions, and two, once somebody actually showed the process, it would. I guess it would seem impersonal.
Yeah.
In a way, it would kind of be like it would be like a couple adopting a kid. You still kind of go through that. Well, no.
Not adopting a kid. I would think of it more like literally, say we're 30, 40 years in the future and we're able to order our child from a lab, and literally you don't even have to give birth to it. The child is just given to you.
And that whole little miracle of birth is just out.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like adopting a kid, because not in the sense of, if somebody couldn't have a baby or whatever, but if you just want to adopt a kid to give them a home, it kind of like with the kinder transport. They were all up for adopting them, but there's still that part of you that says, this isn't my kid.
There's a process that you go through when you adopt a child that actually helps with that. And it's something that I actually read about with a girl who adopted she was one of the first single mothers to ever adopt. She adopted from overseas. And when she did, she talked about how she and her daughter both went through this adjustment period where they weren't really sure, the little girl's living with somebody who doesn't even speak her language.
Yeah.
And the mother is living with a child that doesn't only not speak her language, but, is very young and has been through a lot of trauma considering where she lived. And the story is really touching. I wish I could remember the title of the book, because I'd highly recommend it. But the concept of adjusting like that, I would say the E-Punks would be able to do it easiest, because Twain, technically speaking, did kind of want children to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Even in this rendition. But, I just don't see it happening in RagNBone.
Yeah, because, it just...
If they did, Chibs's would be the best.
And honestly, even if it did, it wouldn't work. Because with the 3x3 law, the 3x3 law is not exactly...
It's pretty unforgiving.
It's not exactly something we can change. It really is based upon how the entire role plays come together. Really, if we put our characters into any other universe, into anybody else's story, they would probably still be following those direct lines of law because of how it's set up. And if you watch the 21 Grams video I did, you will understand why. The souls are very fragile. With the resurrection process in general, the human gives up part of their soul in order to bring back the Stitch Punk, but at the same time the Stitch Punk is forfeiting a bit of their soul. according to the 21 grams rule, which the 21 grams comes from a very old experiment
that has never been repeated.
And nobody can ever really
it's
clarify.
Really for good reason that it hasn't been repeated.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just in general, nobody can really verify that's true because it's never been repeated. It's very unethical. But a guy had taken carcasses and...
Not carcasses.
Not carcasses. They were people. But he did originally have already dead people. And what happened was you would weigh a living person, you would weigh a dead person, and then you would weigh a person as they were dying. And he calculated every single aspect of the human body. And when the person who was dying finally died, there was 21 grams not accounted for. And there had been an entire slew of essays and tests and everything trying to figure out where, if there was a miscalculation or something that would make up for these 21 grams, and it was never found. There is some reason 21 grams is not accounted for when somebody's dying, and people kind of registered, okay, 21 grams is the weight of the human soul.
And I think there's a movie based on the concept. And
I think there is.
There's a couple of things like that, So
yeah, so, and with RagNBone, the 21 grams rule is that whenever a Stitch Punk dies, which in essence, they lose their body and their soul drops into the talisman or elsewhere, they lose 0.5 grams. And each Stitch Punk, if you have a full set of 9, has 1.3 grams. So, in total, they could die a possibility of 5 times before that soul is no longer able to be resurrected. You can use the body and use your own soul to create another Stitch Punk, but they're not going to be the same. They're not going to be the same. They're not going to have the same memories. And so, with the 3x3 law, technically, if they were able to reproduce, they'd be giving up a life or so, or 2 of their lifetimes to make a kid. And that's all for the, sacrifice of life and all that. But it's a very delicate process. And with the 3x3 law, the humans can only do so much because it takes out of them just as much as it would out of the Stitch Punks. And it's just one of those things where even if somebody gave us a plausible reason for it to happen, based upon the law and the theory that we set forth for the comic,
it doesn't really
there
work.
Is no way around it. And it's kind of one of those set things that we're not changing and we just can't really change. I mean, it was kind of funny when I wrote up all the things and I was trying to find a goddamn flaw somewhere to redo this whole thing. Could not find anything. I still can't. But we wouldn't be able to actually do it. But if we did, if by any chance, the law and the theory didn't exist, we would run with the soul bonding.
And we totally derped up some babies.
We did. We derped up some babies. We had a Vic Twain baby. We got a Dabney Wagner baby.
She made a Dabney Wagner baby.
I did.
And then she named it.
I named it, and that was the worst thing ever to do, because that means I kind of want to keep him.
She goes, his name's Fabian.
Fabian.
They would argue so much over that. But she's like, his name's Fabian. And I responded back, and I was like, okay, you know what you have to do. You named it. That's going to make it that much harder to kill it.
yeah. We have this thing.
If you guys have ever read, I think it's Penny Arcade, and you've seen the one about the horse.
The horse land.
Yeah. It's
the
like,
horse is dying. Click on your gun. Click on your gun. Click on your horse. It must be done. But, yeah, it kind of runs with the whole Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends thing. Once you give them a name, it's over. It really is over, because somewhere they're going to come into play, and she had to mention something about nip and tuck and how it could possibly work, and I wanted to kill her. But
it's probably not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Because we don't even know if Nip and Tuck are going to be in the comic.
But I will state one thing, though. One of the funny things about this is, since we have a side project with Good Company.
With Good Company, that's where it can happen.
We could totally make this
because
happen
they're
with
human
their
characters.
Human counterparts.
Yeah.
So, we've actually been tossing ideas.
We have the whole, if all the cast.
Stitch Girl, if there are children that occur in Good Company, you are the primary reason
You're the reason for it. You really are. I mean, I was kind of juggling with the whole thought. I wonder how far we'll get through Good Company before, somebody mentions babies. Because you got Emery that works at a hospital.
Because I didn't intend for them to have kids. I really didn't.
Yeah, and then,
Wagner
we
will
started
be
thinking...
so
and
apprehensive
then
about having children. And
we
oh
drew
my God.
up the kids. I had to draw Anton's
You drew
kid.
Anton's kid, and oh my God, he's adorable!
He's so adorable, and I love him to death. And I even have a voice actor for him, and I know his theme song already. And it kills me, because I'm like, no, this can't happen.
It can't happen yet. It can happen in a couple of seasons.
Yeah, in a couple of seasons, but I mean, this is like beginning of Good Company, so we're jumping ahead, and it kills me. But he doesn't even have a name. He doesn't have a name.
He
doesn't have a name.
Give it a name and make it harder to kill it.
And you guys, you can suggest names all you want, but unless it kind of hits Anton and Emery, like personality-wise, it probably won't get through, and it might be for the best.
But
oh my God,
we got Stitch Babies, and we came up with a Vic and Twin kid.
Came up with Dabney and Wagner.
I did a Hemingway one, which is funny because it kind of looks like the one that you did, because I drew it at work, and then I saw it years later, and I started laughing because they
look similar.
They look similar, but they're not the same. Like, she's got a buckle and buttons, and she has like one's little head thing, only it's longer, and she's got like things wrapped around it and all kinds of weird shit. She's supposed to be Hemingway's color if she was a color.
Jesus. Who else could we even toy with? We didn't really kind of go past that. I think those were the only ones, which is kind of funny.
I did Twain and Lewis's kid.
Oh, that's right. Twain and Lewis,
boy.
then you did Twain and
Vic.
Vic.
And it had green Damask on it.
Yeah.
God, I should do a Brad and Christian kid.
Oh, God. That kid.
It would be such a mess.
It would be such a mess. Jesus. Then we had Dabney and Wagner's. And,
Dabney and Wagner's little shiny inspired baby. I saw that thing with the front.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Because it was kind of funny because I was looking for Japanese outfits. And I was like, there's one outfit in particular I can see because not only does it look Japanese, it looks Arabian. And I looked at it, and it pissed me off because the only picture I could ever find of it was this little itty bitty
picture,
50 by 50, and I had to run off of it. I was like, okay, I get the gist of what it looks like, and I was like, kind of go with the Anton pants that are, those silk the pants that you would normally see in an Arabian movie, and I was like, yes, and then the shoes.
You're like, yes, and then you're like, oh god damn it, I can't use them.
And then the shoes. The shoes in particular, I actually found a pair of slippers that has it to where it separates the first toe from the other feet. And I was like, that is really actually kind of cute. And they looked really motherfucking comfy. But, what else? Jesus. I kind of gave him that whole thing that, what's-his-face in the Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood has. The Zhang dude has Chang, or what the hell is his name? Shang-Chi or something?
I don't know.
But there's this ponytail that the Japanese guys have.
Yeah.
That when they put it up in the ponytail, and it's just kind of too... It looks like sparrow tail.
Yeah.
It looks like a sparrow tail.
Yeah.
He has that.
That's actually the point.
And I was like, oh my god. And I wanted him to have headwear, but I couldn't think of anything. So I was like, he's going to be wearing Wagner's hat. That's fine. So... yeah. Yeah.
That's why mine didn't get past the initial drawing stages. I just did a quick sketch.
Yeah, because once I had it in my head, it had to get down.
Once you finalized sketch, you start giving them a name.
Yeah, and then we're in trouble.
But no,
I even had I have all of his colors picked out too. That's even worse.
That is worse. There was another one I drew. Oh, I did Five and Dickens' kid. Remember?
Five and Dickens. That's right.
Because I said that he would be a holy fucking terror because he had the crossbow.
The crossbow, yeah.
And he would be like, he'd be so more outgoing than his parents, and they would not be. They would be like, oh god, he's gonna die.
I could see him getting along with Crawford, and then it would be all over.
Oh yeah, Crawford and Uncle Lewis.
Oh,
Uncle
God.
Lewis. Think about that one for a second. Uncle
I can
Lewis.
see him running to Five and Dickens, and like Dickens or Five would ask him, where'd you get the crossbow? Uncle Lewis?
Hold on!
And I can see Five. If Five had a heart, it would just plummet to the ground.
Oh, God.
Because of the whole tension with Five and Lewis, it would be like, oh God.
You're ruining my kid! You almost ruined my relationship. You're ruining my kid.
Let's see.
Herp, I am so amused.
You are so happy with this picture. This picture's almost done.
I can't help it. It's just so cute. It's Karnak and Juilliard, for Christ's sake.
It is.
It's adorable.
Let's see.
And it's humans. I haven't done humans in a while.
Let's see. What else?
Gotta do